Well, good morning, my Teaser King family. How is everybody today? Sorry for the quick end yesterday. Today will be normal. Hope everybody is well. So I put the gold price up. We're still waiting. Maybe it's July 24th it happens. We've got 41.55, so a nice little up from 6 o'clock on. 10 o'clock drop, of course, but hopefully it won't drop too much. And silver at 61.13 also with the clock drop. Surprised silver's still so low. I really don't get why they're keeping the price down on that. Again, it's all bullshit. JP Morgan doing his thing. And as Mark McGuire says, JP Morgan's long on it, but the Fed, for some reason, shorting it. I think part of it for gold is that they need to rehypothecate it back, which means like they gave Germany their 300 tons back, they owe France and Italy and some other countries their gold. And of course, we can't afford it because we're bankrupt. And the only way to get it is to keep a lower price. It's the only thing I can think of. I mean, if we think logically, why would you keep the price low? To buy, right? It's a buyer's market. It's been a buyer's market since as long as I've been doing this, where the price has been really low, but we know the real price is much higher, the physical price. Hi, Clem. Well, I hope you're well today, and don't worry, our silver and gold's going to the moon. So this is what we see. Again, looking at Mark McGuire's over the weekend, and then I watched a little of it yesterday, and that's what he said. They have to give that because the U.S. was holding gold because Hitler didn't. Well, Hitler was trying to take it, and they gave it to the U.S. in the 40s. They thought, well, it's safe, and we're on the gold standard, it was not a problem. And in the 70s, we started giving it back, and then finally it went to Germany. Couldn't get their 300. Some of these countries are just asking for the money, and they're buying it on their own, realizing the U.S. doesn't have any. So people who think the U.S. has gold in Fort Knox, they might, but it's not the U.S.'s. It's China's. Ignore this anything about buying gold and silver stocks. It's certainly not ETF. ETFs run away from. That's a Ponzi scheme. There's no physical there. So if you think you're buying physical gold, the only physical gold you can buy is to buy physical gold. Do not buy ETFs thinking, well, I got physical. You don't. Same thing with stocks. And the biggest point I say with the stocks is you're in dollars. So it's worthless. So if you have $1 million, it's worth nothing. $100,000 is worth 1,000. So times it by 10, you're a millionaire. You have $10,000. That's the value of it. It's worth nothing. That's why I yell at Bobby when he gets paid every July to turn it right into gold. If you got the million, Rumpelstiltskin it into gold and silver. Do not, because $1 million is worthless in paper money. It'll pay some bills, but it really has no value. You can't go to the grocery store. You probably can't even fill 2 carts with that. Clem, it's funny. I stacked up on metals before the Iran war broke out, thinking it would go up when the war was going on, but it was quite the opposite. Only rose when there were peace talks. You have to understand that the price is paper price, right? Where did my Just a second. So you must realize this is a option price. This is not a physical price. We don't have a physical price. So when you see 61.22 for silver or 61.19, it's not a real price. It's the spot price of options, and it can only be moved by options. It can't be moved by physical. In a physical world, the supply is very, very low. 1 million maybe tons. And again, when they blow up these bombs, that's done with that silver. And you can't just grow it on trees. So what you realize is paper price. So you're fine. The physical price probably has gone up dramatically, but we don't have a physical price to show it. So if we don't have a physical price, they use the paper price to do it. But that's why July 24th is so important. When China does say, okay, enough's enough, and go to a physical price, it will be much higher. So the physical price is probably about $800 right now. And it probably went up from the war from 600 to 800. You just don't see it. It's like oil, right? Oil is still like $70 on the COMEX or whatever COMEX they use. However, in physical, it's like 150 a gallon, a barrel for oil. But it says 70 in the paper market, but 150 in real. And that's probably what silver is. So silver shows 61, but in the physical market, it's probably 700-800. So you're fine with it. It's a buyer's time and you just buy it. But you're correct. This war they have used a lot of silver and gold, and people. More importantly, it's the dollar that's lost value because you have to print a lot of dollars because of the war. So you're in a war. How do you get gas and feed the people and all the bullets and the planes and the missiles and the drones? Cost money. So wars cost, billions of dollars. So the dollar's killed, but you don't see the silver going down. See, and the dollar you see is all manipulated. We're strong against the other currencies. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. All the currencies are worthless. Everyone is worthless. The dollar has no more value than the Swiss franc, than the euro, than the British pound. They're all worthless. The only one that has value is now the BRICS gold-backed currency, which they already have. I was watching an alligator McLeod one, and he didn't even know they already had BRICS. Oh, BRICS is not going to do anything, and I think. And then he made some stupid comments. Well, Brazil's probably not going to stay in BRICS. Of course they will. What are you kidding me? They're going to go with the U.S. I'm worried the COMEX crooks will do everything in their power to work against China prices, but definitely buying on the dip, working and getting some gold now too. I don't even buy on the dip. I mean, this dip's bullshit. Just buy. You're buying because you want to get out of this, right? So if you have 100,000, you're not waiting for dips. The longer you hold this, the less it's worth. So this is now worth zero. So you have no option. You either stay in this, that's worthless, or you Rumpelstiltskin and move it into gold and silver. Physical, you buy the coins, and you buy the Liberty, you buy the Eagles, you buy the Maple Leafs, the Cougarans. Now, the guy I buy from gives a discount on the Cougarans and the Maple Leafs for some reason. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. But then when you want to go sell it to him, he'll give you a 96 on the Eagle, but only 92 on the Cougaran and the Maple Leaf. I'm like, well, an ounce of gold is an ounce of gold. So I found this guy here. This guy's in Ann Arbor, and he'll give me 98%. Okay. He'll give me 98% for gold. He doesn't care if it's an Eagle or a Cougaran. So my guy's sitting there at 92, and he's fucked because he won't have inventory. So in other words, the guy in Ann Arbor Well, give me 98% of my Krugerrand. So I'm going to take my Krugerrand and sell it to him, and then he'll have Krugerrand inventory. The other guy doesn't have any inventory. He uses these, it's all sold out. Oh, so nobody wants Krugerrands and Maple Leafs. Oh, really? They only want Eagles. Oh, okay. That makes no sense. We're buying an ounce of gold. That's what we're buying. It doesn't matter if it's a Krugerrand, Maple Leaf, or U.S., and we're not buying collectible gold, and we're not buying this 20,000. I wonder if they sold any of this $20,000 ounce Liberty heads for the 250th year. I don't know, but I wonder who's stupid enough. You could have bought for 20 grand 5 ounces. You still could. Basically 41.55. We're holding steady. You could buy 5. You could buy 5 for the 1 ounce, and the 1 ounce isn't going to go up because nobody really cares about gold as a collectible. You want gold because it's gold. So you're not like a mantle is a collectible. So it's worth a lot. So you buy it because it's mantle. Gold, we're buying gold because it's gold. We're not buying it as a collectible. It doesn't care if it's a PS70. I had bought a PS70 1/10. Didn't matter. It's the same price. It's still 1/10 of an ounce of gold is what it's selling for. And I had bought it for $35 because that's what it was, 1/10 of an ounce. So it was probably $3.50 an ounce. My only bitch is I didn't buy 100 of them. I knew what was going to happen. So that's what we have, and we will see. Anyway, you're buying to get out of dollars. You're really not buying because a dip. It's not a stock. A stock, you might buy a dip if you feel it was unwarranted, but even dips aren't that good to buy. But stocks are psychological and momentum. So everybody bought an NVIDIA or Tesla. It's way overvalued. That's why they're all going to crash. Some stocks might be good, like Coca-Cola or Pepsi might be good, especially in a recession. It's a good stock to buy because people will tend to still have a few dollars to buy a Coke or a Pepsi. And Pepsi, you're talking Fritos and that, and it's more expensive for some reason. But gold, so you're buying that, but where it gets too, if it drops for no reason, just because profit taking or because there's a war or because there's a recession or something, in that situation, you're buying. Okay, it was 50. That's the real price. It drops to 35. Okay, you can buy the dip there because it'll go back to 50. But not in gold and silver. There is no dip. There's no, because it's all paper, right? So you're not buying it because of the paper, the option dip. Like even now, silver's at 60.96. Well, you're not buying it because it's 60.96. You're buying it because it's silver, and you're buying physical. That's what you're buying. You're buying physical to get out of paper. So it's a very easy game. The Titanic sinking, you just want to get off of it, and you go to the lifeboat, which is gold and silver. And that's what you're doing now. You're getting out of the dollar that's worthless into the gold and silver. It's very simple. There is no risk in the portfolio. Gold and silver is very limited and very highly demanded, because everybody else is doing the same thing. They're all getting out of dollars or euros or British pounds, going to gold and silver because it's the only thing to go to. Bitcoin, I don't know where that's at now. I mean, Bitcoin was 120,000. Now it's like 58, 57. Are you happy with that? Well, gold doesn't really go down in the physical world, only in this paper bullshit world. But that's the same thing as Bitcoin. It's paper bullshit. It doesn't have a value. It's not backed by anything. You can't even hold it or tell me what it looks like. Clem, why do I hear a lot about people take talking about pre-33 gold. I have no idea. People are under the impression falsely that they'll use it as barter, which means the dollar won't be worth anything. So I'm going to use gold and silver to go to the grocery store. And my response is, it's not barter, it's money. So you're really not going to the grocery store with barter. They will accept silver. As I say, when I go to a barbecue restaurant, and we go and I talk to the owner and I taught him basically Austrian economics and gold and silver, and I can pay for my meal with silver. Is that barter? Not at all. It's money. If somebody will take it, it's money. You can barter a Mantle card, but who wants to give $80,000 for a meal? So that's the problem with the Mantle card. So you want cards that aren't worth, cards are hard because with cards or Rolexes, you really want to get, or a Picasso, you really want to sell it and get the money. But then you got to figure out what to do with most of it. If you sell Picasso for $1 million, you don't, to go to the grocery store, you don't need $1 million, but then what do so you got to take 950,000 and buy gold and silver with it. That's the problem with holding them, but they will hold their value. So pre-33, gold is gold. I prefer the new gold, the Eagles. I prefer this because we all know what it is. So, I mean, this is, so like here, this is what you want to buy: a 1/4 ounce Cougaran, 11.29, a 1/4 ounce American Eagle, 11.57. That's what you want to buy: Cougarans, Eagles, a Maple Leaf. I mean, there's no issue with it. So you see, it's Canadian. It's 1/10 of an ounce, $9.99. Nobody can argue with it. They know that's what it. That's why you just want to buy gold. So here's 1/10 of an ounce. In these 1/4 ounce ones, even here, it's Cougaran. It's fine gold, a 1/4 ounce of fine gold. Random date. I like it, random date. The date doesn't matter because it's not a collectible. But that's what you want. Or in the Eagle, so you're buying an Eagle, and it's going to be, where's the back of it? Oh, okay. And you can see on the back, it's 1 ounce fine gold, $80, well, $50, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't say $9.99 on it, but it doesn't need to. But it's 1 ounce of fine gold, and nobody's going to question it. They're $50. That's what you want to buy. There's also the Philharmonic, which I got, which are the Austrian ones, which are really pretty with the violins on it. And then there's the Australian kangaroo, which I have one of that, and England has. But as long as they sit there and they say it's 1 ounce fine gold, we don't even care about the $50. That's what you're looking for. So it doesn't have to say $9.99, and a lot of them don't. But that's exactly what you want to buy. And then, yeah, I can't take it to the grocery store, but that's going to hold its value. And right now, these are way undervalued because we know an ounce is what, 41.60 in fantasy land, in the paper world, in the option world. As I say, there's 4.3 million tons of gold and options. There's 200,000 in physical, which means if the normal law is the more limited the physical is, the more it's worth. So we're being priced at the 4 million tons of paper gold, not in the physical world. That's where I'm getting the difference. So when you look at it, when people need gold, there's only 200,000 tons to buy, not 4 million. And in the paper world, that's what they're in. But that's what China's going to do July 24th. They're going to say, this is enough. We made a promise to our population, all the Chinese people who are buying it, that it will never go under this price. And that's where July 24th, they're like, okay, fine, we're going to price it in physical, which means now we're going to price it in 200,000 tons, not these options and derivatives at 4.3 million tons. And you'll see that price jump up. I guess 10,000 conservatively, probably 25,000 and as it gets going. And silver, at least 1,000, probably goes to 2,000. So this is really what we're looking at with the physical gold and silver. But on the other hand, the dollar we know is worthless. This is worth, and this is probably not even worth. This is worth a penny on the dollar. So $100,000 is worth 1,000. So you're working and making 100 grand. You think, oh, I'm making good money. You're making $1,000. That's what it is. But that's why if you have it in gold, let the gold go up. Now it's 10,000, and the ounce of gold went from 4 to 10. So you're not you're not like, income averaging it. Oh, I got some at 4,000 and I got some at 4,500. Nobody gives a shit. It's not a stock. It's how many ounces do you have? Oh, I got 10 ounces. And it goes from 4,000 to 10,000. Now you got 100,000 with only 10 ounces of gold versus the 40,000 that's at now. And even if it dips 41, 4,200, it's meaningless. So you're looking at the physical. You're not playing, and you're not buying it the profit take. I bought it at 1,700. I am not looking to sell it at 4 grand or 5 grand. I got to sell an ounce because I need monopoly money, but the rest is not going to be sold, and it's not going to be profit take because I know it's worth a lot more. It's worth a lot more. So therefore, that's the point of it, right? If it's worth 10 grand, why would I sell it for 4? Now I have to sell 1 ounce, but the rest of it, and it's going to be worth a lot more than 10 because as all these countries go under, because they're all in the same boat, the UK, the Euro, Sweden, Switzerland, Finland, all these countries and all the Euro countries, as they all go broke, they're going to run back to gold, which is going to increase the demand 100-fold. But guess what? The supply doesn't go anywhere. You still only have 220,000 tons, of which BRICS already has most of it. As I said, China's got 80,000. It's probably up to 90,000 by now. They're buying like 500 tons a day, and they manufacture. They pull it out of their mines, and it doesn't 90,000 tons by now. And that's the point of it. There just isn't left. So when everybody needs it, there is gold. We have gold. Just got gold. But I'm not giving it up for 4 grand. Make 15,000, I might give you 1 or 2. And go have a nice vacation, right? That's the idea. Buy a house, I'm going to pay with gold. When the market drops, the housing market's collapsing. There's no buyers. The sellers can't even get out because the value of their houses are dropping. So I'll walk in with an ounce or 2 of gold and say, here you go. I want the house. They'll give me the house. There's no mortgage because I paid for the house. All I'll owe is whatever the property taxes will be, which is there even dollars to pay the property tax? And that's it. So you'll own the house. Just like if you want a mantle card, you'll give them an ounce of gold for it. You want a Picasso, maybe 2 ounces of gold, you'll buy a Picasso. People are just so out of touch with reality, with the value of the dollar, that that's the problem. So they won't really understand it. Um, but they'll have to get out of the dollar, and then they'll look around, and as I've already done 5 years ago, and there's nowhere to go. I don't want to buy British pounds or Swiss francs or euros with my dollar that's worthless, because they are worthless also. So you go into gold and silver, it's the only play. And if you don't believe it, you look at all the central banks buying it, and you look at BRICS who are buying it, and China's already the dominant country because they got 80,000, maybe 90,000 tons of gold. Russia's right behind them, so they're getting hurt in the war, but they're fine because they have gold and they want the gold price up. So part of the reason why is the US pricing gold for the world? That makes no sense. Okay, it was good in with the 1945 when we're on the gold standard, but after 71, why did Comex come in and why are we pricing it? It was to protect the dollar, because everybody had attached it to gold, but it wasn't being backed by gold anymore. And so now here's BRICS buying. They're the ones that should shut the price, and that's what they're doing. So it's always been whoever has the gold runs the world. Romans, the British, the French, the Spanish, and same thing now. It's going to be China, but it's going to be Russia and China and BRICS. And they'll have sound money, and our money's worthless. But everybody in the same boat, right? The Brits and the Germany and Italy and France, all their money's worthless. They all have large debts. They all have these. Most of the people are getting to retirement age. They all have the big governments, and they all have the interest on the debts to pay off. They all have debts. I don't know if they're 40 trillion, but they're big. And so basically they're all bankrupt. And that's how you know you're bankrupt, when you can't afford to pay your debts. There's no way the US can pay 40 trillion and it keeps growing. And the same thing with these other countries. They can't afford to pay their debts off. How can they? They're giving away. This is like the Romans when they started giving away bread and food and having the gladiators. They were on their way out, and so they were trying to keep everybody happy. It's called the welfare state, and that's what we're doing here. And you got socialist idiots in New York. Oh, we'll have a grocery store where you don't have to pay for the food. So all the other grocery stores left. All those employees are gone. We'll tax the rich. Well, Icon left, and a few other rich guys. Google left. It'll just go. They all go to Florida because there's no income tax, so they go there. Who can blame them? Why wouldn't they? Nice weather and no taxes. Why should I pay all this tax in New York with some crazy mayor? And I was watching a video. I didn't watch it all, but this guy's like, his parents are real rich. This mayor, he's not even from the U.S. I don't know how they let these people from other countries be mayors and governors and senators. I thought you had to be U.S. citizens. That's real dangerous. And the parents are like scammers too. Like the mother makes 100 or 200 grand a year, and she, on her tax return, I make 2,000. Maybe I'll play that one. So you have all this craziness, and socialism's good, and the collective. Well, no. We're an individual country. We take care of ourselves. We don't want anybody taking care of us. We just want you out of our way. I'm smart enough. I got rid of my dollars. I'm in gold. Just leave me alone. Let me cash some gold when I need it. Have my money and go take care of myself. I don't need you telling me when I can buy gas or when I can go to the pool and when I go to the grocery store or any of that shit. So that's a big part of it. So socialism is communism. It's collectivist. It's, you'll all suffer for the greater good. And it's always the leader is the most corrupt, and he steals all the money from everybody. And that's what this guy's doing. They showed a little thing where it's really hot in New York, and nobody has they're opening the hydrants for water, and everybody's really, really warm. And in the mayor house, it's 69, 70 degrees. Everything works, the lights work, and everything else. There was somebody in Grand Central Station in New York, and everybody, and the trains aren't running, and there's no air conditioning, and all these people are dying of overheated, but he's okay. Well, what's that all about? That's your problem with socialism. It's very corrupt, as is communism, where the leaders steal all the money basically, and then everybody else is like, wait, we're supposed to get free food. You earn your food. Leave me alone. Let me go work or have money, and I will buy my food. Get the fuck out of the way. I don't need the government handout. And that's where everybody goes to. And it's wrong. Now, my Social Security is a different story. I paid into it. It's not a handout. If you would have gotten out of my way, I would have had another 500 grand, and I could have retired on that. I wouldn't need Social Security. But since you stole my 7.65 and my employer's 7.65, then I need that money, or I want that money to come in, because I would have been able to save more. Well, no, you're too stupid to save. We'll do a Social Security, and we're going to steal it all from you. We're going to rob you and pay somebody else and take, like 60% of it. I love what I get every month is a joke, because it should be 5 times higher based on what I put in. All right. So let's go to baseball. Kind of a weird day yesterday. And this is why it's very hard to lock games, because it's very weird outcomes. So I gave you the big pick yesterday, which was Philly. We have the ace, Sanchez, going against some nobody for Kansas City. And you can believe the score. KC won 15-1. You're like, how is this possible? If you go into the box score, Sanchez, who's got a 2 ERA, goes 3 innings, gives up 12 hits, 9 runs, 9 earned runs, 3 home runs with his 2.2 ERA. How is this possible? He pitched 83 pitches, 12 hits to Kansas City, who can't hit. They suck. So it's impossible. The guy's 10-4 with a 2 ERA, and he gives up 9 runs in 3 1/3 innings. So is it possible to predict that? No way. Was that fixed? I'm beginning to wonder, because I see a lot of good pitchers. We got Skeens going today, where it's like shutout, 1 run, 2 runs. And then you see this abortion, 9 runs. How can this be possible? How can you give up 9 runs when the guy doesn't give up 9 runs in 5 games? So I don't know. I mean, we're really just shaking our head, but this is why baseball is so hard. This would be equivalent to Mahomes throwing 5 interceptions in the first half of a game against, Cincinnati or Detroit or something, a team with a real bad defense, and he throws 5 interceptions in the first half. It never happens. It never happens. It's never going to happen. So you just wonder what the fuck's going on with Sanchez. Paul Bowman, how are you, Paul Bowman? It's not fixed 100%. I played minor league baseball for the Mets. You know Bobby? Bobby played for the Mets too. Bobby Bowe comes on here a lot, but not lately, more during football. Okay, so explain this. Here's Sanchez, best pitcher in the league, or one of them. 3 innings, 12 hits, 9 runs, 9 earned runs, with his 2.62 ERA. There's no way he gives up 9 runs in 3 games to Kansas City. Let's look at KC's batting order. And I like looking at stats. Their leadoff hitter hit a whopping 222. He got 2 hits off of him. Then the DH is hitting 292. That makes sense. Then the first baseman hits a whopping 209. He gets 3 hits. The right fielder, 259. Second baseman, 236. 269. The shortstop hits 333. Tolbert. Bobby Witt was the DH. And then 250 by the catcher. Now, why are they batting the shortstop who hits 333 7th and the catcher hitting 258th? And the third baseman who hits 160, what is he even doing in the league? So it's stuff like that you're just scratching your head. He showed us his 2-week pay stub during a spring training. Who, Bobby? Are you talking Bobby Bo? Well, I know Bobby makes $1 million a year now, but he's getting screwed because it's inflated dollars that aren't even worth anything. His $1 million is worth maybe 10,000. So I told him to buy gold with it. So I think he does that. I asked him if he could get paid in gold. Say, you know what, that $1 million you give me, give it to me in gold. And they said no. The Mets got cheap on him. Anyway, so KC wins 15-1. There's nothing you can do about that. The Yankees 5, Tampa 1. We did play the Yankees under 7.5. We won. Washington 12, Houston 11. We played Houston over 9.5. 2 lousy pitchers there. The Mets 7, Atlanta 6. I didn't play. Sometimes you get these TBD pitchers. Milwaukee 4, St. Louis 3. Didn't play. Arizona 8, San Diego nothing. I took San Diego because Ferris Bueller has been pitching really well. Like the last 6 games, he's given up like 1 run in 6-7 innings, except for the last game against the White Sox. They lost 21-3, and now he loses to Arizona 8-0. Now, part of it is they didn't score, but Arizona's pitcher wasn't all that either. The Niners 10, Toronto 1. We played Toronto and we played the over. The over 7.5 was the big bet. Toronto we liked because we were betting against Rupp. ROUPP had lost his last 10. So we played the streak there going Toronto. But looking at both the ERAs, we said this is definitely an over, especially at 7.5. And it was 10-1 49ers. And the Dodgers 8, Colorado 7, 2 high-scoring teams. We went over 9.5. They scored 15 runs. So yesterday we go 4-3, although we do lose to Philly. The other free play was Toronto. So the free plays didn't come in, unfortunately, but the other ones do. And again, you can buy my picks for the week for only $25 because until recently, I really didn't figure this out. So I didn't want to charge a lot, give out a bunch of losers. But now I know what I've kind of figured it out. I'm looking at pitchers, streaks, over-unders of the pitchers, and I'm more into that. All right, July 7th. All right, here's your free play. Mizorowski, you ever hear of that guy? 1.47 ERA. He's actually minus 102. Something's wrong with this line. And a total of 4.5. Something's wrong with that. It's almost like we don't have the right. Let me refresh and see if I get. No, it's still the same. So we're taking Mizorowski as your free pick with Milwaukee. I like him. He didn't want to come out of the game. Wanted to finish the inning. Struck out 2 guys with this 105-mile-an-hour fastball. And with St. Louis, I don't care who the pitcher is. He's TBD. Well, what am I going to get? Bullpen or that? I don't care. You're not scoring on Mizorowski. You're getting shut out by him. So we're taking that. But since we don't know the total, we can't really play the under. So we'll just go Mizorowski for the win against St. Louis. Paul. It's baseball. It's impossible for a pitcher to be on top of the game every start. Yes, Bobby. I met Bobby in Pittsburgh. A Pirate coach, Rick Donnelly's son, played with me in high school. Bobby comes on here as Bonilla 420, and he lives in Tampa now. and we do talk a little bit about Barry, and he met Ric Flair in a bar in Tampa. But I taught him about gold and silver, and so now he's taken care of. But we tried to get him out of that $1 million into $1 million in gold, but the Mets wouldn't do it for some reason because they know they fucked him. I told him to fire his agent because his agent really fucked him. The $1 million a year would be good if the dollar didn't lose value, but since the dollar lost value, the $1 million he got in 2005 and the $1 million he's getting now are nowhere close to what the value is. And that's what inflation is. When you print the money, it loses value. So Bobby's getting paid in less and less dollars each year, but he's still able to take it and buy gold. But instead of buying gold for $200 that he could have bought in 2005, he now has to spend $4,100 on the gold. So he gets less gold, but he does transfer it into gold and silver. I know he does that. My first spring training was the strike year and then start of steroids. Also the Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire area. I think that's a joke, the steroids, that they don't let these guys in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds should, or Bobby Bonds, no, Barry Bonds, he should be in the Hall of Fame. So should Clemens, so should McGwire. It's a joke they're not in. It really dilutes it. Guy with the most home runs, but he's not in the Hall of Fame. It's like Pete Rose for betting on it. Now, baseball is sponsored by FanDuel and BetMGM. It's a joke. This whole thing's a joke. Oh, let's let gambling into it. You don't want that because now you can't trust. Like I'm saying, I trust Sanchez yesterday? Nobody hit Sanchez. I mean, that's ridiculous that he'd give up all those runs. Oh, but it's FanDuel, so maybe he did. Agreed. Yes. Yeah, I don't get why steroids is a problem. Mano was an alcoholic. He got in. Is there a big difference? All right, let's look at the Cubs are at Baltimore minus 107, total of 8. Matthew Boyd 518 against Shane Baz 419. And Matthew's been pitching pretty good. He was on the Tigers a little bit. He's won his last 3. And his overs have been 2, 4, 6. So he's 6-1 over when he pitches. Now that's the team playing, but he is giving up some runs. 6 runs, 2, 5, 2, 0, and 3. So he had a bad 6 and 5 outing, and then 3 2-runs and a 3-run. So he gives up some runs. And so that's the problem. You think like Sanchez yesterday, he doesn't give up any runs. So why would I bet over against Kansas City? I never would. If I did, I would think Philadelphia would score. And Philly had a bad pitcher going. So it's really confusing what happened to Sanchez yesterday. Ask Bobby what he thinks about Sanchez fixing the game. He'll say 0%. Well, you'd like to think so. You don't want to believe it. The problem is, how the hell does he give up 15 runs to the Phillies? Well, 9 runs in 3 innings? How does he not have his stuff? And if he didn't, why did the manager keep him out there? He just said, I don't have it today, and get him out of there instead of having him give up 9 runs. I think that's my point. Shane Baz for Baltimore. He's lost his last 3, and he's given up 2 runs, 5 runs, 3 runs, 3 runs, 5 runs, 2. So Shane Baz gives up runs. So I'm expecting him to give up runs because his last 6, he's not shut out anybody. And Matthew Boyd for the Cubs. So I'm expecting this. I would expect runs here. And that's the other thing that gets me is when these pitchers with 5 ERAs throw shutouts. Oh, you gave up 1 hit in 6 innings. You're like, but this guy never does that. So I know part of it's the matchup, Cubs against Baltimore, but A lot of it doesn't make any sense. I know they're good pitchers, or they wouldn't be in the major leagues, most of them, although I think there's a lot of minor league pitchers in there. But it just, five, 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 and then shutout. You're like, what? Or shutout, 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 6 runs, shutout. And it's that one game that you can't, like, what happened? Why did the guy all of a sudden give up 6, and then the next game he shuts you out, or vice versa? The guy gives up five runs a game and then throws a shutout, a one-hit shutout or a no-hitter, and you're like scratching your head. But yeah, I know most of them are major leaguers. I don't say all of them. I think there's too many pitchers in the bullpen to be major leaguers. I don't see that. The Yankees at Tampa. Tampa 115-8. Will Warren 374 against Seymour 318. Bad day. It happens. I was a pitcher, not knowing the bullpen situation. Manley knows Sanchez has to give 3 innings. I wouldn't have done that. So I don't buy. I got to do analytics. I hate analytics. I think it's an excuse, especially like in basketball. Winnebago for San Antonio. What is he running out at the 3-point line for? He's 7'5". He's your advantage. He should never leave the paint on defense or on offense. I don't want him shooting 3 points. You're 7'5". Nobody can stop your shot anyway. Oh, well, analytics says take a 3-point shot. And that's why the Knicks, who got the ball inside with Doyle Brunson, won, and San Antonio lost because they played analytics. The Lions do a lot of that. Hey, it's 4th and 2. It's against the Eagles. Let's go for it. And you tried 5 times, and 5 times you failed because why aren't you punting the ball inside the 5? That's how you play football, not, oh, I should go for it on 4th and 2. It's just bullshit. So the Yankees, Tampa's 115-8. Will Warren 374 against Seymour 318. Will Warren is he's 3-3 his last 6. He was hot where he won like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He won 6 in a row. And now he lost 3 in a row. So we look at that. A lot of overs, last couple of unders in his last 6 games. 3 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, 6 runs, 5 runs, 2 runs. So according to this, he's never had a game in his last 10 under 2 runs. So I am expecting Will Warren to give up at least 2 runs. And he's doing this in 4 and 5 innings, which means he really sucks, because the 2 runs in a 9-inning game, you can understand. But that's not what he's doing. He's doing it in 4 and 5 run games. Or 4 and 5 innings. Ian Seymour from Virginia Tech. He's won 4 out of his last 5. He had a few 2-inning games, so he was bullpen. No, he pitched 40 pitches in 2 innings. So I think he's a starter. He just sucks. 2 innings, 3 runs, 4 innings, 1 run, 3 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 3 runs. And then here you go, the 6 innings. No, he throws a no-hitter, and they took him out after 90. I don't understand that. Guy's got a no-hitter, and you're taking him out. They beat KC 13-2. What is that? Then he came back and threw 6 innings and gave up 1 run. So the last 2 games is 0-1. And a couple other 1s and 2s. So Seymour can be good. The Yankees are without Judge and a few other players. So we'll see. He is a lefty. So, yeah, I think Tampa's a good play. If Mattingly blows through bullpen arms, they are now vulnerable to be swept. That's yeah, I don't even buy that. I mean, I played some baseball, not at the major league level, but that's the wrong thinking. If Sanchez isn't going, so you'd rather lose the game than go through the arms, and what's the point of saving the arms? I would see if Sanchez says, I don't have it today, then I'll use him tomorrow. Maybe he has it. And I'll go with my long reliever or my fifth starter. And they don't have that. Everybody goes one inning. It's such bullshit. I can't fathom to say how stupid baseball is now with, oh, we'll bring in five relievers and they'll each pitch an inning. Like they can't go 2 innings or 3 innings. And why do we have such big bullpens? Mm-mm. I'd see Koufax or Gibson. They'd go 9 innings. You didn't even see the bullpen. Mickey Lolich, 68 World Series on 2 days rest, pitched a complete game. Nolan Ryan, you don't think he pitched 9 innings? And Tom Seaver and Maddox and Glavine and Jack Morris, and I can go on with pitchers who pitch complete games. And they always had it. Very rarely did Koufax get beaten up or Gibson. So it's changed now where these pitchers, I don't know what's going on with them, but I don't care about that. I'm not going to lose a game. So you just give up the game because Sanchez doesn't have it. And then you bring in your bullpen. See, that's analytics. I don't buy that. I'm sorry, I can't trust that. All right, Atlanta, Pittsburgh. What is wrong with Scanes? He's lost 8 games in a row, I believe. I can't believe it. He's lost 9 games in a row, or they've lost 9 games. And the Pirates have lost 9 games in a row when he's pitched. Okay, what the hell is going on with Scanes? Best pitcher in the league, now he sucks. Atlanta, Pittsburgh's 144-8. We got Hurston Waldrop, who's pitched 2 games in June, 2 innings shutout, which who cares, and 5 innings, 3 runs. In 2025, he had a 2.88 when he pitched in 10 games. And in 2024, he had a 16 ERA, but he only pitched in 2 games. This year, he's got a 3.68. Going against Scanes, what the fuck is wrong with Scanes? Unbelievable. I mean, look at this. They've lost the last 9 times he's pitched, and a lot of them were heavy runs. A lot of overs. So let's go through Scanes' last 6. Gave up 3 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 4 runs, 8 runs. How the fuck does he give up 8 runs against Philly? What is that? In 4 innings, he gives up 8 runs. In 5 innings, he gave up 5 runs to Philly again, so he can't pitch against Philly. And he's given up 4 runs twice in 5 innings, once to Cincinnati and once to Toronto. And everything else is too. He's got his last shutout was against Colorado. He went 8 innings and pitched a 2-hitter. So betting the way I do, I can't bet Scanes. I love Scanes. He's lost 10 in a row or 9 in a row. Can't bet Scanes. Who the hell is Waldrop? So I've turned this into an over game because apparently he's going to give up 3 or 4 runs. Waldrop's, who the hell knows? So Pitt can hit. So Pitt's this perfect over team. And when Scanes is pitching, normally you bet Pitt. You can't bet him because he hasn't won in a month, and I don't bet against streaks. So he's losing every game. So normally I would bet against him now, but I can't because I can't bet on Waldrop. So then this turns into an overplay. But what happened to Scanes? I mean, the guy's a great pitcher. He's got a 3.62 ERA. But he goes 5 and 6 innings. I see he goes like 110 pitches. So they're hitting a bunch of foul balls off of him. If I was Scanes and these guys are taking 12, 13 pitch at bats, I'd start hitting them. Okay, 1 pitch, boom, you're hit. You're going to get on first anyway. You're going to pay for it. And I'd go after these guys and hit them and tell them to fuck off, basically. I don't like that money ball crap of 10, 12 pitches. Okay, Joey, you suck. You hit 150, so go up and hit a bunch of foul balls, and we'll tire out the pitcher. What kind of strategy is that? That's a bunch of horse shit. This is why baseball is very unpopular now. So I don't like they do that to Scanes. Detroit and Oakland in Detroit. Detroit minus 193-8. Jin, the guy who almost threw the no-hitter for Oakland, 2.90. Against Scooble, the crybaby from Detroit, 3.18. He's just about paycheck. Maybe it's an under, 2 good pitchers going. Although Skubal will only go 5 innings, and then he's got to cry and get out of the game. That's what I like about Mizorowski. He did not want to come out of the game. Skubal, you'll never see that. He's, oh yeah, I pitched 4 innings. I better go because I want my paycheck. Skubal is the ultimate loser in baseball. I only care about my money. I don't care about passion for the game, trying to win the game. I just, like when he came out of the game against Seattle, that tells you everything you need to know about the guy. He's a crybaby. That's what we're going. That's why you go 5 days and 6 innings and 100 pitches, is when we get to the playoffs, you're pitching 9, fella. If I'm the manager, there ain't no way this guy or any of these guys are coming out after 5 or 6 innings. You're pitching 9. Unless you blow up like Sanchez. Skubal in the playoffs had a shutout going, and he wants to come out in the 6th inning. No chance. You're pitching all 9. You get tired? Suck it up. You're a professional. You're getting paid $30 million. Your ass is on that mound for 9 innings. That's how I would manage him. Not this, oh, yeah, oh, your arm hurt. It's 6 innings. Oh, okay. What are you saving him for? He's leaving anyway because he wants his money. Doesn't give a shit about the team. Doesn't care about winning. So basically, go fuck yourself. I wouldn't play him. I would not play this guy at all this year because as he gets injured, nobody wants him. Plus, the way he's pitching, nobody's going to want him. I'd much rather have Mizorowski, Scanes, Sanchez over this guy. Or the guy, Steve Schittler on the Yankees. I'd much rather have them than this guy. Scanes is throwing non-competitive pitches ahead in count. Second, he can't finish hitters in pitcher counts. Why not? He did last year. He doesn't have a curveball or a slider that kind of breaks off and the guys swing at it. Especially now, I've never seen so many amateur players. I was in Little League, and my coach said, if the ball is close, you swing at it with 2 strikes. If it's close, if it's hittable, it could be a little outside or a little high, but if it's close and they could strike you out on it, you swing at it. And yet I see so many batters take called 3rd strikes. They're not swinging at it. It's pathetic. These guys, I don't know what they're doing in the major leagues, up there for walks. You're up there for a walk. It's a 3-2 pitch, or maybe it's a 2-2 pitch, and it's little on the outside corner, a little high, little low, and you're taking it, and then you get called strike 3. What are you doing in baseball? You're up there for a walk. Well, why are you up there for a walk? And I love how they get away from batting average into OPS, because OPS is walking, not hits. And I always say, I'm looking for a guy hitting 300. I don't want a guy who's hitting 200, but his OPS is 600 or 700, which nobody knows what that means. Nobody knows what OPS is. It's how many of your hits are extra base hits and how many times you're on base. Big deal. I want a guy who can hit and drive in runs, because when I got a guy on second, I want a 280 hitter up, not a guy who hits 170. Oh, but he walks a lot. Yeah, that's going to do me good when I got second and third and the winning runs on second, and I got a guy who walks, who's going to get called out because it's close, but he won't swing at it because he's up there for a walk. And Spencer Torkelson comes to mind on the Tigers. The guy's always looking for a walk. I hear his girlfriend has been seen with that Ruben guy with Fanatics. So you're telling me he doesn't have more than one girlfriend? Have him call me. You have multiple girlfriends. What, are you kidding me? Why would he have one girlfriend and she's with whoever this Ruben guy is? But that shouldn't be the reason. I mean, he's got to have 20 girls after him. Come on. Seattle, Miami. We got Ric Flair, Brian Wu going against Michael Myers, who's really good. Miami's 121-7. I'll give you this as the second free play. Go Miami under 8. Ric Flair pitches a lot of low-scoring games, and Meyer had won 10 in a row, and then he lost the last game. But that's where the fluke came in. It was all 0s and 1s. Then he gave up 5 or 6 runs. So I expect him to go back to 0 or 1. So 2 good pitchers. If it was somebody else on Seattle, I would take Meyer. but in this case, I'm going to take the under, and the under's 8. Houston and Washington. I don't know. I hate Washington. I don't know what they are. Can they hit? One game they go 11-10. The next game it's 6-1. Washington 169.5. Jaime 6.19 ERA against Alvarez 3.0. What is Jaime doing in the major leagues? I know he's from Japan, but buddy, you got a 6.19 ERA. You're in Toledo. You're in the minor leagues. I'm going to pass on this because I don't know either team. Can they hit or not? And it's too much. KC goes to the Mets, and we got the Mets 142.9.5. Seth Lugo, who stinks, 4.22 against, pitcher to be determined. So I can't play a game because I don't know who my pitcher is for the Mets. He's really good. Now the Mets are 142 favorites, but you get these bullpen games, which I don't understand, where the bullpen guy comes out, pitches an inning, and then the regular pitcher comes out, pitches 3 or 4 innings. What is that? High school? I mean, what is that? Why does the reliever start the first inning? It's a joke. Baseball is just pathetic sometimes. Philly and Cincinnati. Philly 167.9, and we got our man Zach Wheeler 2.36 against A. Abbott 3.88. We all know who we're taking there. Boston against the White Sox. The White Sox have been playing pretty well. They're 47-42. Boston's 119, 8.5. Totally for Boston, 3.41s on and off. Nick Schultz, big guy, but can't pitch, 5.86 ERA. Probably go over here with these pigs. Cleveland, Minnesota. I have no idea. I hate these games. Minnesota's 108, total of 7. Cantillo with a 3.86 goes against Bradley with the 3.89. You have no idea what you're going to. They could shut you out, or they could give up 6 runs. And I don't know. And I don't want to bet this game. You can't make me. All right. Milwaukee, St. Louis. I have no pitchers. I have no pitchers. I have no line. I have no bet. California and Texas. Kind of a decent matchup. Texas 159-7. We have Soriano with the 3.42 against DeGrom with the 3.51. Now, DeGrom was good. Failing. Soriano had that one good game where he threw almost a no-hitter, and then he's been a pig after it. So, it's like we're talking every once in a while the pitcher can pitch, but most of the time he can't. We'll see. Arizona, San Diego. San Diego 113-9. Zach Gallen with his 6.36. What is he doing in major leagues? Oh, because everybody else sucks. So he sucks, but that's all they can find, and that's the problem. You want to have 15. Let's say 13. What do you have? 5, 6 starters and 7, 8 in the bullpen. You don't have that many major league pitchers. Sorry, you have maybe 2 to 3 starters on the team, probably 2, and maybe 3 bullpen guys who are major league. So you have maybe 5 guys times 30 teams. That's 150 pitchers. There's no way you got 150 major league pitchers. And by major league, I mean, really good ones that are major league standard. And most of these guys suck. Zach Gallen's one of them, 6.36, against Marquez with the 5.90. And so this is an automatic over. Both these pitchers, 6 ERAs, and totals on the game's 9. You should get at least 3 to 4 runs on each until the bullpen gets there and gives up another 3-4. Toronto goes against the Niners. The Toronto 112-8 at San Francisco. But again, we don't know who Toronto's pitcher is. And Tim McDonald for San Francisco, 4.42. No thanks. Colorado and the Dodgers. This one's really confusing. The Dodgers are 2.69 and 9.5. 2.69, and now it's Lorenzen, another terrible pitcher, 6.99 ERA against Roblisky, 2.63. So this is probably a Dodger play because they're at home, and Lorenzen couldn't get a high school team out, and Roblisky with the 2.63. So the Dodgers should win this easily. Um, his girlfriend is as or popular as Skeins. Well, I don't care. Or more popular. Is she popular because she's dating Skeins? So if I'm Skeins, I go to the other 5 or 6 girls who want him. I don't have a serious girlfriend if I'm pitching. I have 3 or 4 girlfriends to date. And what does he need a girlfriend like this for? He's Paul Skeins, right? So he doesn't understand what he's doing. All right. So that's baseball. Free pick. Take Mizorowski today. 2 units. And we're taking Miami under Meyer against Ric Flair or Brian Wu. Should be a good pitching matchup. So we could see 14 runs. It's just hard to understand. Sanchez yesterday. I mean, I don't know. What do you do? And then the other game was Ferris Bueller's been pitching really good. And then he lost to the Dodgers. No, I think he beat the Dodgers the last time, like 6-1 or something. And then he had a bad game the last one, but he's like 6-1, and then he fell. They lost 8-0. Now, how much was it? Was Ferris? I don't know. They didn't score, so he wasn't going to win regardless. I don't get this 10th inning bullshit. First of all, I don't like the runner on second if he didn't earn it. I think that's ridiculous. Secondly, I don't like they always bring in the guy with the 6 ERA to pitch the 10th inning. They're incapable of pitching the guy who pitched the 2 ERA in the 9th inning, pitching him in the 10th inning. Oh my God, he can't pitch 2 innings. Why not? That's a bunch of bullshit. This whole pitch count thing is ridiculous. This whole I'm going to go through 5 relief pitchers, 1 inning apiece is ridiculous. Oh, they can pitch 2 or 3 innings. I don't get it. When I grew up, they pitched every day. Sparky Lyle or Raleigh Fingers, Goose Gossage. There was a guy in the Tigers in 6'8", John Hiller. I think he pitched like every day. And then Willie Hernandez, when they won in '84, pitched like almost every game. He'd get the save in the 9th. So you'd have the starter go like 7, 8 innings, probably go 8 innings, and you'd bring in Willie Hernandez to pitch the 9th, or Raleigh Fingers, or the guy on St. Louis, and they'd clean up the game. And that worked pretty good. I think these pitchers are being babied. I think this 100 pitch count is absolute bullshit. I think this every 5 days is absolute bullshit. You got so many injuries now, and they're following this. So maybe it doesn't work, this 100 pitch thing and this 5-day thing. If I'm managing, you're pitching every 4th day and you're going 8 innings. I don't care. Strengthen your arm. That's what they used to do. Throw the ball from center field, throw 100 throws. Now you're ready to pitch 150 pitches. This 100 pitch is bullshit analytics, which I hate. How about all this pitch hitting? Yeah, let me. Oh, wait. I got Ted Williams. He's at bat. Oh, we're bringing in a lefty. Sorry, Ted. We gotta take you out. And Joe Smith's who hits 150, is gonna pinch hit for you because it's a lefty on the mound. And I know, Ted, you can't hit lefties. I mean, this is insanity. Pulling good hitters out for weak hitters. There's no reason for it. As I said, I played like Pony Colt. I was like 15, 16. I didn't care if it was a righty or lefty. The guy has to throw it over the plate. If it's over the plate and a strike, I'll swing at it. If it's not, I don't. I don't care if he's a righty or lefty. I'm going to hit him regardless if he puts the ball over the plate. So I don't quite get that a righty can't hit a righty and a lefty can't hit a lefty. I think it's bullshit. And I think these managers do not know what they're doing. I think the Tiger manager is the absolute worst. I think the Tiger manager's the dumbest. He'll take a 280 hitter out for a guy hitting 120 who just strikes out because he's right-handed hitting a lefty. You're hitting 120 only against lefties and you can't hit. Maybe I shouldn't pinch hit him. Maybe if I let the guy hitting 300 or 280 hit against a lefty, he might. I'm sure he can hit against lefties. That's a bunch of horse shit. Well, analytics say that a righty is going to hit a lefty so much better. Or this third time through the lineup crap. What a joke that is. I mean, the whole thing's a joke. The analytics, nobody questions are they real or not. And it's really going against strength. Like I say, with Winnebago for San Antonio, think what you're doing. You got the guy who's 7'5", 7'4", and you're pulling him out to the 3-point line, which is just what I want if I'm the other team. If I'm the Knicks, I'd be happy. Oh, this guy's at the 3-point line. Let him shoot. He can't grab the rebound. And on defense, when he's guarding a guy at the 3-point line, oh, I can shoot layups all day. That's why you keep him under the basket. So when Doyle Brunson drives the lane, he's going to get it rejected. But by pulling him out, you're going right into the hands of the Knicks. There's no strength and advantage by having San Antonio do that. That's why I say the IQ of Winnebago is 0, and I say the coach should be fired, has no idea what he's doing. Okay, he beat Oklahoma. Wonderful. Losing to the Knicks with Winnebago shows me you're an idiot, especially the way you lost. So, yeah, they were terrible. But again, these ball players, look at Will Chamberlain. He screwed 1,000 girls. You can't. He has no reason to date this popular girl seriously if she's fooling around on him. Date her as a casual acquaintance and if you need a steady girlfriend, or just have, like I said, 5 or 10 girlfriends. He's Skeins. He should have that. So it makes no sense to me. I don't get it. And that certainly shouldn't affect his thing. All right. So that's baseball. Free pick, Milwaukee. We're going with Mizorowski. If he loses, what are we going to do? And we're taking Miami under 8. Meyer and Ric Flair, and it should be an under. A little talk about the soccer game. So the U.S. and Brussels Sprouts. And I love that Brussels won. Because everybody, look at the U.S. Nobody gives a fuck about soccer here. We do care about football mostly. Tiny little bit about baseball. We don't give a shit about soccer. Well, it's the most popular game. That's because these other countries don't have football, baseball, and basketball. Maybe some of them have basketball, but nobody has football and baseball. So that's all they have. And it's easy. You buy a ball and 25 guys can play. Like I was telling the lifeguard, it's a bullshit. It's a poor man's game because you're sitting there. All you need to do is buy a ball and 25 kids can show up. All they need is tennis shoes and some sort of net. I don't give a shit about it. I can't name one guy on the U.S. team. I could care less. I was happy they lost because everybody's trying to hype it up, like get us into soccer. We're into football. We're not into soccer. We're a little bit into baseball. Mizorowski and Skeins and that. Okay, we can handle that a little bit. It's Mahomes. It's Joe Burrow. It's Bo Nix, Denver, Oakland, Pittsburgh, Green Bay. That's what we're into. And soccer's nowhere near that. So these guys, when these radio guys are talking, the U.S., who gives a shit? Do you realize how they had no chance to beat Spain and Portugal, this Argentina guy with I don't even know these stars. I guess they have the star Messi or whatever. Do you realize if the U.S. played that guy, they'd lose like 10-0? That's how good they are and how weak the U.S. is. The U.S. is not a soccer power. I was watching about the last 10 minutes. I was all excited that Barcelona or Brussels was up 3-0 or 3-1, and then it went to 4-1, and I was like, yes. and they look like a fast break basketball team. The U.S. is in a hurry to go nowhere because this is soccer. It's not like hockey where you get a breakaway, right? I think, or basketball where you get, Magic and the Lakers, and the Magic would do all the no look passes and the guys dunk the ball. Well, that's not what you have in soccer. You have a goalie and you have defense waiting for you. So I all I saw was the U.S. rushing, and basically Brussels is just standing there passing back and forth to each other in no hurry to get the ball up. But when they did, they scored 4 times. And the U.S. didn't. I thought it was a joke that one U.S. player was able to play. If he got a red card and he's out, he should be out. That's bullshit. I don't know if I'll watch anymore. And I only watched that just to see the U.S. lose. I saw them losing, so I said, oh, let me watch this. But yeah, I thought it was a joke that they tried to paint like the U.S. was good. The announcers were terrible. I don't know who does the announcing on Fox. They were horrible. Anel Michaels, Pat Summerall, and John Madden. Those were Keith Jackson. Those were announcers. These guys, I don't know who they were. They were worse than the golf announcers. I'd rather watch golf than the soccer. I think the British Open's coming up. I'd much rather watch that than the soccer. So I was happy they lost, and we don't have to hear about, oh, look how good the U.S. team is. Oh, they're going to replace football as the best sport, and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, fuck off. So I was glad about that. Anyway, what else? So looking at college football yesterday, I'm in the ACC now. And in the ACC, like Clemson sucks. There's a lot of, we're trying to identify the quarterback and the coach. Like Clemson, they got a new quarterback. Now you can say if he didn't go to the transfer portal, he must suck, right? Because this is his 3rd year at Clemson. He couldn't beat out Klubnik, who was terrible. And now he's there. Now he's going to be the starter after sitting behind him for 3 years. Not good enough to get transferred. But I don't like when these guys just run to the other programs. I find they're losers. Like DJ Langway sucks at Florida, and now he's at Baylor, and we're going to bet against Baylor. What are you doing, Klubnik? I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing. DJ Langway, you stink. You stunk at Florida. You're going to stink at Baylor. You might be a little bit better. And then everybody around, like Arch Manning, they want to make him the number 1 pick in the draft. Why? Because he had a good game against Michigan in a bowl game when Michigan sat 25 players. So he was good against the 4th team of Michigan. Yeah, let's make him the number 1 pick because you know what? Against Oklahoma and Ohio State, he didn't show up to the game. In Georgia, all the games they lost, he didn't show up. Let's go back to that Ohio State 14-7 game. Oh, okay. They play again the 2nd week this year. Texas, this time it's at Texas, Ohio State. Texas with the killer defense, a little bit better with Sayan and Smith, the receiver. You got Bo Jackson, who's coming back from the Raiders to play at Ohio State. It's amazing. Now let's see Arch Manning. Let me guess, 10 of 25 for 75 yards, and he'll want to run a lot. I'm sick of these quarterbacks that are running quarterbacks and they think they're good. I get, like, where's Dago Pava in the draft? And you drafted Ty Simpson from Alabama. Yeah, that was a good pick. Yeah. If I was Oakland and all you Oakland Raider guys, why didn't you take Dago Pava in the 8th round or as a free agent? Because you don't know what you got in Mendoza. You need a backup. You're not even going to give Dago a try after he beat Alabama and he looks really good and he was good at New Mexico State. You don't want to play him? I don't know about that. So again, bad management. They don't They don't know what they're living. We want a running quarterback because we saw Richardson look so good at Indianapolis. Oh, until he tapped out of the game because he was tired. Yeah, that's who we want. All right. Let's talk a little socialism versus capitalism as rich kids for socialism. Obviously, idiots. What's the big deal about socialism? This is the point. Socialism is about the leader getting rich and everybody else getting poor. We've talked about the New York guy and the Seattle guy, how they're fucking up those cities. Everybody's moving out. Starbucks moved out of Seattle. Icon moved out of New York. Google moved out of New York. There was Amazon moved out of New York, moving out of New York. They don't want to pay the taxes. You got free grocery stores. Who's going to stock the shelves? Because nobody's going to sell free stuff to the grocery stores, right? If I'm Coca-Cola, I want to get paid $2 a bottle for my 2-liter. And then they're going to sell it for $3 on the shelf. Well, wait a minute. If you're going to give it away, am I still going to get my $2 to give you for the $2 for the Coke? And if I do, and you sell it for free, how am I getting paid? And that's a big problem. So this is the problem with socialism and giving away free groceries. It never works. It can't work. You can't get away from the profit model where I buy it from you for $2 Coca-Cola and I'll sell it for $3. You can't get away from that. And then you try to meet what the public's going to bear for it. And the public says, I'll give you $3 for it. I buy it for $2. I sell it for $3. That's business. That's capitalism. That's good. And if you don't want to pay $3, you go to another grocery store and maybe you buy Faygo or some other Verner's or something for cheaper. Okay, makes sense. That's your option. If you really want to buy Coke, you buy it wherever, which is fine. That's what it is. You have the option where to shop and what to pay for it. And they have the option what to charge for it. And all I see at Meijer's is Coke that's $2.99, and it's always 2 for $5 because they can't sell it at $2.99. Unbelievable. All right. So what is Rich Kids for Socialism? Let's take a listen. I haven't listened to this. I just want to kill socialism. You don't want to be a socialist, especially in my country.
And many blame capitalism.
Under capitalism, once prices go up, they stay up.
People complain life is expensive, and many blame capitalism.
Under capitalism, once prices go up, they stay up.
They say we need
Is that true? I just told you Coke's $3 is now on sale 2 for $5. What the fuck's he talking about? Once they go up, they stay up. That isn't capitalism. That's the market. They go up if prices go up, if the market allows it. If the market says, I'm not paying more, the price comes down. I just bought a New York strip for, what was it, July 4th, Memorial Day, whatever. It's $20. It was on sale for $13. Has the guy never heard of a sale? So I bought my New York strip for $13, not $20, because the price went down. Because they put it on sale because they can't sell it. That's what the market does. The market controls the price. And if you can't sell it for $20, you lower the price. What the fuck's he talking about? The prices never come down. That's what a sale is, because they can't sell it at that price.
new system.
We need revolution. We need a whole different system.
A mass uprising against the violent capitalist system.
Their solution?
Socialism.
Among Americans 18 to 34, socialism is viewed more positively than capitalism.
Pro-working class is pro-socialism.
Is it really? By working class, they mean poor people. But
it's not the actual material poor who want socialism. When you actually see who supports socialism, these are people who are relatively well off.
political psychologist Rob Henderson grew up in foster homes before getting degrees from Yale and Cambridge. He calls socialism a luxury belief.
It is an idea that confers status while ultimately inflicting costs on people who are less fortunate. Take the Occupy Wall Street movement. The majority of the people who participated, they were college educated. They disproportionately earned more than $100,000 a year. You have to have a certain level of comfort to neglect your day job to participate in political demonstrations in the first place.
Maybe these people, they just want to help the poor.
If you want to help the poor, socialism isn't the way to go about it. You don't see slogans like feed the poor, help the needy, support the people who are dispossessed. It's more like soak the rich.
It's people with college degrees who prioritize closing the wealth gap. Sensibly, Americans who didn't attend college are more likely to value reducing poverty, something socialism never does. Decades ago, a British prime minister said,
So long as the gap is smaller, they'd rather have the poor poorer.
Margaret Thatcher was spot on.
Once they start to talk about the gap, they'd rather the gap was that. Down here. That. Not that.
She was actually Austrian.
as if they believe.
Anyone above you, they acquired it through illicit means. But then once you reach that point, well, you did it honestly.
Bernie Sanders seems to believe that. He used to complain about,
Millionaires and billionaires, millionaires and billionaires.
but then he made millions.
If you write a best-selling book, you can be a millionaire too.
Sanders no longer complains about millionaires.
Just the billionaire class.
Democratic Socialist AOC grew up in this wealthy suburb and attended one of the most expensive colleges in America.
You can't earn $1 billion.
Then there
Sure you
is
can.
Seattle's new socialist mayor, Katie Wilson, eager to further tax the rich.
The claims that millionaires are going to leave our state are like super overblown. The ones that leave, like, bye.
She also grew up privileged.
Starbucks just
She
left.
went to Oxford debt-free thanks to her wealthy parents. And of course, there is New York City Mayor Mamdani. His parents own a 5-bedroom mansion and paid for his expensive private school.
Bowdoin College. If you go to school here, you're rich.
He is the poster boy for luxury beliefs.
Nepotism and hard work goes a long way.
It's almost like he was made in a laboratory. He has a wealthy filmmaker mother, an Ivy League professor father. He spent most of his teens and 20s floundering, working for his mother's film studio, trying to moonlight as a rapper.
Chop it up.
Yeah, he should be a mayor.
We live under an inherently oppressive capitalist dogma.
Many socialist influencers grew up wealthy. Streamer Hassan Piker admits that. His dad was an executive at one of Turkey's largest companies. Now Piker earns millions streaming on Twitch, denouncing the system that made him rich.
For years, I've wanted to visit Cuba. I wanted to see a socialist society in person.
He was recently seen wearing $1,300 glasses to his trip to Cuba.
Ostensibly, they think that everyone should be equal, but then when you look at how they behave in their lives, they're obsessed with getting into the right colleges, wearing the right clothes, showing off that they have money, showing off that they have the right beliefs.
Even Fidel Castro was well off, growing up on his family's big sugarcane and cattle farm.
The farm itself was some 12,000 hectares, so he came from an extremely wealthy family.
Fidel Castro famously wore 2 Rolexes. The ostensible reason he gave for why this was because time was of the essence. He had to know, what time he was supposed to be where and have to double check. But why did it have to be 2 Rolexes?
Socialism creates rich tyrants, but naive Americans think it will give ordinary people free services.
We're going to have free buses. We're going to have free childcare.
We will cut the working week in half with no loss in pay. Cancel the rent, mortgages, and utility payments for all folks.
It never works. So why do people keep falling for it?
That is an inherently appealing thing to people who have not been thoroughly educated in the catastrophes of socialism in the past. In American high schools, you get 155 hours of Hitler. You get 3 minutes on Stalin. You get 0 on Pol Pot. You get 0 on Mao. It's not that people have to be trained into liking socialism. They have to be educated out of liking it.
Exactly. We must teach people the dangers of socialism before more people are misled by privileged voices who never bear the costs. I grew up in Azerbaijan. My country lived through socialism. But when I came to America for college, all I could see around my campus was communist posters. I don't get it. Socialism doesn't work. If you
So the real reason is people don't know, they're not educated. And as I played this other one, it's basically because they're listening to idiots. So I played this one, Why Idiots Rule. Idiots are leaders who don't know what the hell they're talking about, but they say it very aggressively and passionately, like you think they do. And so you listen to them because you're an idiot, because you don't understand whatever they're saying. Socialism, you're not going to get free lunch. There's no such thing. You're not going to get, oh, I'm going to work and I'm going to only work 10 hours a week and get the same pay. In what world is that going to happen? Where's the money come from? Well, I'm going to get free food and a free car and free healthcare. Where, in what world is that? No, you go to work and you pay for everything. You want to go eat, you pay for it. You want to, you want to work 40 hours, you work 40 hours, you get the money. But everybody is blinded into believing socialism is, oh, like this grocery store in Manhattan, I'll get free food. It sounds good. Or rent control. I'll get free rent or lowered rent. No, somebody has to pay for it. But you really want capitalism, which says if I work hard and I make so much money, I can buy such and such a house, take this vacation, buy these golf clubs, go golfing. I have money to do what I want to do. That's capitalism. The harder you work, the better your skill set. So I got a master's in economics and finance. So I get to make more. Well, I worked for it. I worked hard at school to then make that, and that's the point. So because I did that, I'm able to make more and then have a higher quality of life, because with more money, I can buy a car, I can buy nice clothes, I can buy gold and silver, I can go on vacations to Europe and Asia and wherever. Because I can go to Vegas, I can bet football, because of capitalism, I can make money and do all that. In socialism, I couldn't. I wouldn't make any money. They're just giving you, well, oh, your food's free. In what world is my food free? Well, who's paying for it? Oh, we'll just tax the rich. Well, as that Seattle mayor said, bye-bye. Well, you know who went bye-bye? Starbucks. Starbucks left Seattle and went to Florida. New York, Amazon and there was another company, I think Google left New York, went to Florida. So Florida gets everybody because they don't have state income tax. And when you want to jack up my taxes, I can do the same job in Florida and not pay tax than I can that. So cost is always the barometer in capitalism, and you get to compete. Oh, I don't want to go to Kroger's and pay $5 for a Coke. I can buy it for $3 at Meijer's. That's capitalism. You can compete. There's competition, so you can get things cheaper. You can get things on sale. Prices never go down. What the fuck's he talking about? There's sales all the time there. And then when you see it, you buy 2 or 3 New York strips at $12, $13. And when they go back to 20, you don't buy them. I went to the grocery store and they had like crab legs, $75 a pound. I laughed. I said, you'll never sell any of them. And I went back a few days later and they were down to $40 and eventually ended up at $20. I said, did you sell any? He said, yeah, we sold one. You're a grocery store. You don't want to sell one. You want to sell in group, multiples. So the socialist mayor wants to give everything for free, and then he benefits because he lives in a nice place with air conditioning and heat when it's really hot out. Look at California. Oh, well, you got to ration your cars because you got to charge your cars because it's got to be electric. We don't want electric. That's capitalism. I want a regular gas car than an electric car. That's what we do with gold and silver. The reason people don't have gold and silver is they don't know they should. They don't understand. They don't understand the dollar has no value. They don't understand it. How can it lose its value? Because you printed it to death. If you print it to death, it has no value. Hello, McFly. That's what it is. There's too much. The lower supply and higher demand is a higher price. And when you have a very high supply of dollars, the demand drops because the value isn't there. And all these countries are getting out of the treasuries because it's not worth anything. And where do they go? They go to gold and silver. And all the central banks are buying gold and silver. So the bankers know about this. But the general public, I say the dollar's worthless. They look at me like I'm nuts. Then they say, and I'll say buy gold and silver. Well, no, that doesn't move. It's a paperweight. What are you talking about? They don't even understand it's price fixed by COMEX. JP Morgan is doing options to lower their price. That's not free market. Free market would be a physical gold price, which is what we're getting July 24th. But people don't understand this. Get out of dollars because they're not worth anything. That's why I told Bobby, you got $1 million of crap. You got to get out of it and buy gold and silver. So July 1st just hit. It was Bobby Baudet last week. And I'm sure he got his million and bought gold and silver with most of it. So that's what you do. You have to understand and not be an idiot. So why idiots rule, this one here, why idiots rule is just because of that, right? Idiots are ruling. I can do it with my right hand. Idiots rule because they'll say, oh, I'll give you free food. And everybody runs, oh, but nobody asks, how are you going to give free food? And the guy who's offering the free food has no idea how he's going to get it because there's no such thing. In a market economy, it's free market. You have competition, which lowers prices and increases quality anyway. But nobody knows that, and that's the problem. Nobody understands it. That's why idiots rule. So, like Trump, I'll end the Ukraine war. So he gets elected. It's been over almost 2 years. He still hasn't ended the Ukraine war. He can't end it. He's not going to end it. It's up to Putin to end it. Or I'm going to open up the Straits of Hormuz. That's an idiot talking. He can't. Iran controls it, and the insurance companies control it. So only with the insurance companies are you able to, they're the ones really blocking because they know if the U.S. ships go through, they're going to get blown up. So they won't insure it. That's why the U.S. can't go through. But if you pay in yuan, you can go right through the Straits of Hormuz. We're in big trouble with oil because there's a shortage now. People get confused with what inflation is and what it isn't. Inflation is money printing, period. And the more money printed means supply goes up, and as supply goes up, price goes down. That's as simple as it is. It's got nothing to do with prices. It's not because Cocoa Pops, let's go to cornflakes. Was $3 a box is now $6 a box. Oh, that's inflation. No, it isn't. That's the market pricing it higher. Well, my cost went up. I don't care. I'm not going to pay $6 for a box of cornflakes because your cost went up. I'm not going to do it. So therefore, the market sits there and says, no, we're not going to pay it. And therefore, if the market isn't going to pay it, you can't raise prices. So your whole inflation argument goes out the window. Because just because your costs went up does not mean you can mark your prices. Toyota did that. Their costs went up. So they marked the Camry $25,000 to $35,000. And I go in for an oil change. And the guy starts, and he knows I'm an economist. He goes, I can't sell a car. I go, what are you selling it for? 35. And I had bought a Camry for 25. It says, your market's 25. You cannot just sell it at 35 because your cost went up. Who's going to buy it? Your market is down here. You have to sell to your market. Just because your costs go up doesn't mean you get to sell it at 35 if nobody's willing to pay 35,000 for it. And I see so many businesses do not understand the basic premise of Austrian economics and prices and markets. The market lets you know what you can pay it for. You can pay for it. So this pen you can charge maybe $1.50 for. Nice pen. You try selling it for $10, who's gonna pay $10 for it? Nobody. And eventually some other competitor will sell this at, let's say, $2, and you'll buy it for $2. But if they just because they raise the price doesn't mean you're going to pay for it. I need a pen. Well, I'll buy a different pen, or I'll buy another brand. So you're not necessarily buying everything what you think that you're just going to pay a higher price for. Your income didn't go up. Your dollars are worth less. So your 100,000 is worth 1,000. So how am I going to pay more for things? I don't have the money. My utilities went up. My rent went up. My food goes up. My gas is going up. So I have less money to buy everything. So when I go to the grocery store, I'm going to buy cauliflower and apple, $1 and $2 stuff. Finding things that are not $4 is really hard to do right now. But that's what you're trying to do. And that's really what's going on. So keep that in mind. Most people are idiots. That's why they're socialists. Oh, I'm going to get free food. Really? You think you're going to get free food? In what world do you live in that you're going to get free food? So this grocery store. So the socialists in New York are going to come out with this grocery store. 17 markets shut down because they can't compete with free. Where are people going to go to eat? What do you think they're going to get at this grocery store that they're giving away the food, free or reduced? Do you think they'll have any food there? No, because if I'm the vendor, if I'm Coca-Cola, I need to get $2 a bottle for my 2-liter Coke. You can't give me $2 a bottle. What are you going to give me, 50 cents? Well, all I can give you is 50 cents and I'm going to sell it for $1 because I'm a socialist. Well, this is not how business works. I need $2 for the 2-liter and you can sell it for $3. That's how the economy works. And we're able to come up and compete. That's why capitalism is the best. If you want to compete, you want to sell pens, you can go sell pens. Figure out a way to manufacture them and then market them and sell them. You can do that. You can sell wallets. This is a Coach wallet. So I can compete with Coach and sell a wallet a little bit cheaper. That's the beauty of capitalism. I can compete. I can make the product. The product's already made, a wallet. Oh, great. So I don't have to come up with a new thing. I can come up with a wallet. It's already out there, make it. And then if my competition is Coach, to sell it a little cheaper and people go, oh, I'll buy a Professor Teaser King's wallet instead of the Coach. And it's $20 cheaper. Okay. That's the point of it. That's what you're really trying to do. That's capitalism. And it's the same thing with gold and silver. We want to get to a physical price. When we get to a physical price, it'll be much higher because it's limited. The supply's 200,000 and the demand's huge, going up as all these countries start going up. And that's really what we're looking at. But capitalism works because of the competition. If you had communism and you only were allowed one, it was only Coach. That's what communism is. There's only Coach, and the government runs it, not Coach. So it would be Nikolai wallet in Russia, and Putin would get his share. And if you went shopping, that would be the only thing you want a wallet, you're buying Nikolai brand, and it's going to be 1,000 rubles. And that's your choice. And see, that's the thing. There's no choice. And if there's all monopolies, you're fucked, because that's what you want with competition. You want 10 different stores, then they compete with each other and you win because of the competition. And you win with what they have. And that's the point of it. And that's what you're aiming for. So let's see. We got home prices falling 50%. Housing crash is getting worse. People ask me, why are you in an apartment? Because I'm waiting to buy a house with 2 ounces of gold. That's $400,000. Because I'm way ahead of the game, because I know that's what's going to happen. You will take gold for your house because it's real money and you have an asset and you want real money for your thing. As people realize that the dollar, these are monopoly money. All right. Once you realize these have no value, and they don't because you keep printing them, because you have to keep printing them. Every month you have interest on the debt, Social Security, and you have the government employees and their pensions. That doesn't go away. You're spending 10 and your revenue 7. So you have to print 3 every month. How are the value of the dollar going to get any better? It can't. So it's got to get worse. If the dollar gets worse, then what happens? Right? So how can the dollar get good value? It's worthless. Any dollar that's not backed by gold is officially worthless as soon as it rolls out. These stable coins, worthless. Bitcoin, worthless. US dollar, worthless. Stocks are just an investment, but they're overvalued and they're going to crash. And the economy's crashing. People are losing their jobs and everything else. So once you have all that, you're pretty much fucked. So understand that. That's the point of me, is explaining gold and silver and the dollar and everything else. And then once you get that's the point of it. So that's what we're teaching, is we're trying to educate, because you're not taught it, you don't know it. And then some guy comes out and says, hey, socialism, and we'll just tax the rich and everything will be free. And you go, wow, that's what I want. Who wouldn't want everything to be free? But in reality, somebody's got to pay for the food. And you can't tax the rich, because the rich all leave, go to Florida, because there's no taxes on the rich. So you've got, like I said, Starbucks moved to Florida, and Amazon moved to Florida from New York, and so did Google. So yes, you can't tax them. That's why taxing the rich never works, because the rich, oh, okay, I'll move out of the U.S. into Puerto Rico, or I'll move to Argentina or somewhere where there's no tax. And that's what they do. And that's why you can't tax the rich. They'll just say, fuck you, I'm not gonna stay. So that your little plot never works, because you don't get more money taxing the rich. Now what do? I just promised everybody free stuff, but I can't tax the rich because they're all gone. Well, I guess I'll have to raise the tax on the poor and the middle class. And then everybody's like, what the fuck? Why am I getting tax increase? Why are we giving this shit away for free? And that's, it doesn't work. And why is that mentality even there? Why are they teaching this in schools, that everybody wants socialist? And that's my thought on like soccer. It's a very socialist game because it's cheap. You buy one ball for 25, 30 kids. That's why people in these other countries like it. But here, you got to buy football and some equipment. Baseball, you need balls and bats and bases and mitts. And hockey, God knows how expensive that is. That's why you don't see these sports in a lot of other countries. Some of the like Russian countries, Czechoslovakia has hockey, basketball, the Greek league and the Italian league, and a few of those places. And football, nobody is my buddy in the Ukraine he was in a tackle football league, but basically it was just like kids getting together. But that's why you do it. So the NFL wants to expand. Let's have the Ram-Niner game in Australia. Why? How many people do you think are actually interested in that game in Australia? 0? Oh, I get a chance to see it. Well, what's the ticket price? And unless they're free, they're not going. They can't afford it. I was in Germany, and there was a German game going on. There was a U.S. game in Berlin. Nobody cared. They got the soccer game on. Can you turn the game for the NFL game? No, we don't care about the NFL. That's what they told me at the bar. This was at the hotel. We don't care about NFL. And I said, yeah, okay. So here's the NFL trying to, I don't know what they're doing in London and Germany. I don't get it. There's a game in Mexico. There's a game in Australia. What the fuck are they doing? So what, everybody's going to get excited for one game? And if they want to see it, it's on YouTube. And I don't know, there's a big time difference. So Germany's 5 hours ahead of us. So the 1 o'clock kickoff is at 6 o'clock there. So by the time the second game rolls around, or the Sunday night game or the Monday night game, it's 3 a.m, nobody's watching it. So I don't really get the point of the Rams and the Niners. And you're killing your audience here who wants to see it. So what time are you showing the game at? I think it'll be I think it's a night game because it's a Thursday or Friday game. So I think it's a night game. And what are you trying to do with it? So it'll be a night game so we can see it here. And I don't know what time it is because who knows what the time change is in Australia, but it's got to be a bitch for the Australian. You're not really doing it for the Australians because the Australians are not going to be up. It'll be 4 or 5 in the morning or 8, 9 in the morning when you're showing the game. So it can be on TV here at 8 o'clock. So I don't get this whole thing. I don't get this pay TV for it. Let's put every game on Peacock. And they just did that with baseball. Every game was on Peacock. Yeah, I'm sure that drove people to buy Peacock. Okay, we just won't watch baseball that day. So I don't really get that. I am not running to buy Amazon Prime or Apple or Peacock so I can watch a fucking baseball game or a football game. Never happening. If football got this stupid and stopped showing games Sunday afternoon on Fox, NBC, and ABC, they're out of their fucking minds. If they think everybody's going to run and pay for it, they're nuts. No way. Ain't going to happen. Now, B, I grew up on Saturday afternoon college and Sunday afternoon pro since the 60s. Okay, watching the Steelers. Could you imagine if that was pay-per-view and nobody would have seen them? It's bad enough like tonight, Mizorowski's pitching. You can't see the game. It should be on Fox or CBS. A guy like Mizorowski going should be on TV. If it was Mahomes and Joe Burrow, it'd be on TV, right? So I don't know what they're doing. They're missing the whole market. It's incredible how these different companies and sports misses the point of a market. This Brian Wu against whoever he's Max Meyer should be on TV. You want those games on TV. You want Mahomes and Burrow on TV. Why would you not show it? So you want this Ram. Notice the Ram Niner, I think is on TV. Let me see what it's on. I would like to think it's on Fox, Kansas City, and the Rams and the Niners. Let's see if we got. Usually they tell me like what channel it's on. NFL. Oh, I want scores. So it shows me the line. And let's go to regular season week 1. It's not even on TV. It's on 8:35 Thursday on Netflix. Are you fucking kidding me that this game is not on regular TV? This game at least is on NBC, the first game, New England, Seattle. But Seattle without Kenneth Walker is not the same. Are you insane showing this game on Netflix? What are you thinking? Nobody's going to buy Netflix to get it. And that's it. The rest of the games are on regular TV. Yeah, it's actually on Netflix. But notice the time, 8:35 Thursday night from Australia. I'm sure the Australians love that. So that's what, 8:30 in the morning for them in Australia. Isn't it like a 12-hour time? Anyway, but that's the whole key to pretty much everything is the markets. You got to understand your customer. If I'm Paul Scanes and and I'm upset because my girl's with another guy, I got the wrong girl. that's not your market, and I got to find a girl who's into me, into my market. That's the point of it. That's why you have multiple girlfriends, and not a long time. You meet multiple girls, let's say, and you find out who's in your market, who likes me for me, and that's who you date. You don't just take one because she's pretty and then she goes and screws half the other guys, and then you can't pitch because your girlfriend's with other guys. She's not your market. She's different. You either accept that or you just say you move on. So you say, well, I don't want a girl that sleeps with all these other guys, so I'm going to look for a different girl. Something like that. So you're looking for your market, just like Coke and Pepsi and Faygo and whatever else. Anything else? So buy your gold and silver because your dollar's worthless, and your dollar's worthless because they printed it to death. So they've made the supply too high. In other words, it's like a 1990 Hoops Michael Jordan card that has very little value because they made a million of them. So the bigger the supply, the more money they print, the less it's worth. It's not worth anything now. They can't print gold and silver, so they can't screw the supply up. So it's very limited. But as everybody realizes their dollar aren't worth anything, they run into gold and silver because there's no other option. But you must buy physical, not ETFs and not stocks. You must buy physical gold and silver. That is the point. And then you're okay. When you do that, now you're okay. And you just wait for the physical price to get in where there's only 200,000 tons, not 4 million. And you'll see the price hit 10, 15,000 until the dollar's out and then gold buys a house or a car because the value will be huge because you can't print gold. No way. There's nothing you can do, or silver. So that's why those values are so low. But that's what people don't understand about gold, like Warren Buffett. Well, it's a paperweight. It doesn't give interest. Yeah, when it went from 1,700 to 4,000, do we give a fuck about interest? No, because now the value has jumped, and the value is going to jump more. But if you don't understand, because it's limited and can't be printed, and the dollar is not worth anything, is the big critical point that people don't get. It keeps being printed. It has no value. It's worthless. That's why your prices at the grocery store are going up until you say no. Until that Camry goes to 35,000, you go, fuck, I'm not buying that. It's 25,000. And when you get to that, then you understand it. But at this point, like you see the price go up, well, you don't have to buy it. If New York strip goes to $20 a pound, you don't have to buy it. You can buy another steak that's 10 or 11 or 12. There was another sirloin steak, $13. Do I really need New York strip at 20? Am I really going to taste the difference? How about getting hamburger at $6 a pound, which I could get there? I don't need a steak. So it's just I can get chicken. How about salmon? I can get salmon at $11, $12 a pound. So why pay 20 for a New York strip? Like I don't have a choice. And that's really what the point is. It's the market. We determine the price. We determine if this Camry can sell at 35 or 25. We determine the price of Coke and the price of candy and the price of Lucky Charms. We just don't buy it. And then next thing you know, it's on sale, 2 for $5, or buy one, get one, 50% off. I see so many of those sale signs. Anyway, socialism, bad. Capitalism, good. Gold, good. Dollar, worth shit. Doesn't have a value. Get the fuck out of it. It's an automatic, and you're not profit taking your gold. You're buying it and holding it. And you sell an ounce for 20,000, and you go on a nice vacation, and you buy a house or a car with it or a boat. That's what you're going to do with your gold. But you're not. If you have 50 ounces, you're not selling 50 ounces. It's not like, oh, now it's 50,000. I'm going to sell my 50 ounces because what are you going to get for it? You'll get monopoly money, which is worthless. So you never want to sell your gold that has a value that can't be printed for monopoly money. So that's why you never really want to sell it to get in unless maybe you're buying the ruble or the yuan or the BRICS money that's backed by gold. then you can do it. But you still would rather hold the physical than get into paper that is not backed by anything or stocks. Be very careful on that. And with that, I will leave you. Well, welcome, Paul Bowman. It was nice to talk to you. And Clem, good to talk to you. Feel free to give questions and comments. It helps me understand what you're interested in so I can talk about it. I talk Austrian economics because that's real. The Keynesians are socialists, are not real, and it's all false. And that's why I don't really, I'm trying to explain the differences so you understand, and why you buy gold and silver is you get out of the dollar, because the dollar has no value, but you don't know that. God, I got a floater in my eye that's the size of a football. I woke up like that. Anyway, so that's about it. So I'm on my way. Have a wonderful day, everybody. My free pick again in baseball. We're taking Milwaukee with Mizorowski, and we're taking Miami under with the Meyer versus Ric Flair or Brian Wu game. And that's it. If you want my baseball, it's $25 for a week. I got 10 games going. I normally make money, even though I play a lot of games. They all make sense. I'm looking at the pitching normally. And like taking Mizorowski today. Okay, well, it should win, but we don't know. I can't give it a big lock like I do in football, where we know Mahomes is going to play. Oh, Mahomes is the dog. We're betting on Mahomes. Versus here, I can Mizorowski, but what if he pulls a Sanchez like that yesterday? I'll bet you Sanchez the next game shuts him out. You know, I don't know what happened, if it was fixed or what, but he wasn't in the right frame of mind, let's say. And I would think next game he's pissed and he'll throw a shutout. All right. Well, have a good day. www.tjking.com. I'm usually on every day, mostly. Did I do a picture? I think I did. Yeah. Okay. So have a great day. I will talk to you if you need me at tjking.com. You can get my email and send me an email. If you want to pick, go to tjking.com, purchase picks. Baseball is on the bottom right corner. $25 buys you a week of baseball. And I'll email you all the picks. And basically, I'm winning them probably 9 days out of 10. I'll win. How much? Could be 2-3 units, sometimes 10 or 15 units. All right. Well, have a good day then. And buy your gold and silver. There's no question. You're not waiting it. It's buy it. Buy as much as you can. You're not like waiting for it to go down to buy. No, you just buy it. All right. Thank you very much. Have a great day.